seventh dimension back at it. Another Sunday, another video. As I should quote that saying. But yeah, no. Today's video is pretty, pretty not personal, but like it's relatable for some people. It's not, but like, all right. Let me get into it. You don't even know what this is about. So today's topic is called Indianish, and yeah, I haven't really talked about my race that much this seventh dimension, and I mean, I'm trying to cover all the topics that I can before I go. So might as well. So yeah, as you like go into a specific race, there's different opinions, different people. I mean, obviously different people. I'm not no one's the same, but different opinions, different biases, different types of people. You got, at least for my case, I mean, I'm Indian, obviously, or not. You probably wouldn't know that because I didn't tell you, but now you know I'm Indian, and we got people that are Republican, people that are Democrat. We got people that are more traditional, and then we got some people that are more unorthodox. Yeah, I guess that's a good way. We got some people that you know are half Indian. There's just so many. Such a variety in like each different race. I do think, I do think race is a concept, but like we live in a world where it's not a concept, so you can't really like pretend you live in a fake reality, if you know what I mean. But this was mainly to be like how people not like judge those. Not this is like one spectrum of the many issues with race in general and different races, and there's so much internal conflict, but this is one of them. This is the specific one that I've kind of dealt with myself a little bit, and then I know there's other people like me that have. So yeah, it's this thing with it's this thing with being like not the stereotypical Indian, and how people just like they view you not like as not being Indian, because it's obviously they're Indian, but like they kind of think that obviously you've kind of forgotten that part of your heritage, your culture, your thing, and how I feel like people that are not part of, not like the traditional stereotypical person of their race, are not only like I'm not gonna say attack because it's not like a war, but it's like a mental attack on by the traditionalists, not even the traditionalists, but people that think they can define who people are, just like the people on that far end of the spectrum, and then you got the people on the outside coming in to put in their perspective when they're not even part of the race. So they're not even part of the race in general. So I don't really know what they're kind of they're. I think they're probably basing it off of their their perception, their judgment, not their judgment, but like their visions of I guess for my example, the Indian people in general, like like for example, like you see Apu or Ravi or a Shirag on like these like movies and television shows, and like Balji, and you assume that all the other Indians in this world have to be exactly like that, have to be have to have that that Indian accent. They have to wear, what are those things? I don't pull up jeans, not pull up jeans. What are those called? I forget. Cold Roy's, older Roy's, or something like that. All right. I mean, that's not really a thing, but you get my point, right? And then it's like they make the outside people make the people on the unorthodox side to feel like they're not part of their own culture, and then the people in the culture, like the people that think the people that think that outside people, the non-traditional people, the people in the same culture, the Indians in my case, that think the Indians that don't do this specific stuff or don't believe this or don't act this way, don't that they're not part of the culture in general, that they're outcasts, they're divergents, they're like they should be abandoned. That's just like, I don't know. It's kind of, it's just, what's that movie that called Divergent? It's like you you're forcing what people to pick certain things rather than letting them define themselves by themselves. Let's say you're Indian. You don't have to be Hindu. That's your personal decision. And if you're not Hindu, that's okay. That's like you're not you're still Indian. Like you still have your identity, your culture, everything, because everything else that's in it, and not just be abandoned over this one thing. And it's like, I don't know. It's like you can see it's like there's this movie called The Last Black Man in San Francisco, which is a movie that I totally recommend that you seeing. But I mean, if you want to watch it, you probably watch it. You can do it. It's just society just making you feel like an outcast, and the people that are outcasted are just honestly like the most oppressed. It's not okay. That's not the most oppressed people. I mean, there's obviously way more oppressed people. It's like a sector that no one talks about. Because people talk about oppressed people all the time. We got news now. We got YouTube. We got Twitter. We got so much like media outlet where people can share their stories. But I feel like we don't really talk about intercultural, conflicts, and it's just like people in general that are different or think different are just treated like, they're not human. Not they're not human, but they're just like they've no. I'm not saying value, because everyone has value, but we make it seem like that there's this like rank system society. Everyone's ranked in how much value they have. That's not true at all. And yeah, they pose so much fear. Like this is the thing. Like this is why I like Kanye West so much. It's like I took 3 years ago. Believe me, I was the most anti Kanye person you can know. I saw that all the stuff he was doing, and I mean, back then I was pretty. I'm not gonna lie. I was my environment, my situation, influenced me to be pretty liberal. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, even though like all around me was conservative, but yeah, no. Today I'm not affiliated with any of those terms, but like back then, I was. And then when I just saw Kanye, voting, not voting, but like saying that he like Trump, I was like, whoa, what is he doing? He's like, is he even black? Like I was like, that was literally what I was saying. I'm not gonna lie, that's exactly what I was saying, and I've come to realize that this is what society wants you to think. They want you to, believe that certain people should be, in a sense, degraded to one opinion, one stereotype. They should be looked at through one lens, and that's how we have so much so much blind, judgmental bias today. Like I want you to do this exercise that I just came up with right now, but it's pretty cool. What's the first thing you think about when you think about a white person? What's the first thing you think about when you think about an Indian person? What's the first thing you think about when you think about a Latino person? Well, this can just with every single race, and these perceptions like will come up in your mind, and you can see the vast amount of differences in them, and then they make you they make you biased. They stereotype you, and then now every time you think of that, you'll think of that one, and then you'll generalize. You'll generalize everyone to be the same thing, and it's just, man, it's just so annoying because like if you're trying to define let's say you're one of these people that is hating on people that are different. The fact that you think you can define your culture for everyone else, you can define it yourself, show the type of person you are. That you think that you are right, that you think that you know everything, that you let your opinions get the better, that you let your consciousness get the better of you, that you let your mind overtake you that's just like that's the problem with society. You're not a problem of society. I'm not saying you're not a problem in any way. You're a symptom. That's what you're a symptom of what society wants you to think. And let's go back to what Kanye said. Um, to go back to what Kanye said, the one of the main reasons he's does this obviously likes Trump and goes around because of fear, because he knows the backlash. He knows how people hate on him for just having an opinion, having a different belief, having a different ideology. They hate him. They say he's dumb, he's stupid, he's lost his mind, and just the fear of not expressing who you are, not being your true self. It's just, I don't know. It's just like it's one of the reasons that we live in such a divided world today. And people that think similarly usually band together, and when they're in the majority, they like to band it on the people that are in the minority. And it's like a magnet. You have a bigger magnet and you have a small magnet, and the magnet keeps on sucking and sucking and sucking, and then at some point you'll make these people fear so much that they'll switch, and then they'll join you, which is, you think you're succeeding, but you're actually not succeeding because you're taking away from them true selves. And then what's the point of living if you're not living like your true self? It just it doesn't really make any sense. And now to relate this back to me, because I've been talking a lot about it. So the reason why I want to talk about this, because in the Indian, I can't really talk about other cultures. I can just talk about Indian because I know what's happening in our community. We have people that we define these terms. We say whitewash. We see middle. We see more traditional. FOB, fob, fresh off the boat. That's what they call them. And I'm a symptom of this too. I've just realized how dumb these were, and believe me, I realized that these terms are just nonsensical in a sense, and how it doesn't matter at all, and how we let these terms get the best of us. Like, I mean, in my case, I'm not really from a majority Indian community. I'm from a more rural area, and I know people that live in areas that are married, like their friends are only Indian, and then whenever I go see them, they're like, "Oh, you're so whitewashed," and I'm like, I mean, yeah, I've not been around that many people that were Indian, but that doesn't mean I'm like not Indian. And also, the term whitewash is like, we need to get this out of the system, because being around people that are different doesn't mean you're brainwashed. What it's like, just think about it. Just think about it. Whitewash. You whitewash fences. You don't, like, what's that movie? I don't know that movie that kid was watching, whitewash fences. But like, anyway, it just doesn't. It's so unnecessary. Like, you could just say, "Oh, I didn't know you did that," or "I didn't know." Like, I mean, I like, let's say for example, I like listening to David Bowie, and that's one of my, and obviously if someone hears you, and I like playing lacrosse, which is probably a better example, and instead of saying you play lacrosse, oh, you're whitewash, you can just be like, oh, I don't play lacrosse, but that seems pretty cool, and how did you play lacrosse? Who influenced you? Because obviously, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it's been my environment was the reason I played lacrosse, but that's not a bad thing, and it's not a bad thing to be who you are. I think we gotta realize that it's not, but and we can't let other people define who we are. We can't let them instill fear in us. So being an outcast, like, or at Divergent, I don't know, it's a good movie, you should watch it, but like, you're gonna face some backlash. You're gonna, might get hated on by your community, your friend group, or your cousins, your family. So many people waiting on you, but if you give up who you are, if you give up this true self, if you give up trying, then hope is lost. As in Star Wars, they say, what hope fuels the rebellion, and the hope that one day that we can live in a world where people can accept others for who they are. And there's this one really really good quote. Sorry, I'm gonna have to read it to you guys because it is very 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 good. Um, oh, shit. Um, okay, I might have to do this off memory, so I'm gonna have to do this off memory. Okay, cool. Well, I'm pretty sure it's like once we see the humanity in others, we are human. I think it's something like that. But I think we should, live by that, stand by that, and yeah, whether you're an outcast, not outcast, but like said to be an outcast, or I guess you're more traditional, or you just don't know. You don't want to pick a side. If you don't know, that is completely okay. I don't know. You don't know. I don't know. For me personally, I have no clue what I am, but that is beautiful. Okay, that's the beauty of life. We don't know who we are, but life, we go through life, and this journey will help us find that. I mean, it doesn't really help in finding who you are, but it'll give you some, sanity, some peace. When you go, you'll be like, yeah, and that's it for today. Yeah, what is it today? First day of March, or I don't even know, but time's a concept. Time goes by too fast. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm gonna go. Have a good Sunday. Peace out.
This is my song, and no one can take it away. It's been so long, but now you're here to stay. And I wonder if you know what it means to find your dreams come true.